Hey everyone, it's Monster Art School with Steve Ellis. Yeah, that's my new super intense entry. So I hope everyone's good. And why are you talking? Oh, hit the record on the...
I just did.
thing. Oh, good. Okay, great. So, hey, it's Monster Art School with Steve. And this is Luna, my little partner. My big partner. My attack-elating partner. Okay, so today we're going to draw... Hi, Mila. We're going to draw a goblin. So, we're going to have a lot of fun today.
If we have time, we're going to ink.
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see. I think the goblin's going to be hard enough to do. So,
Let me get you one.
oh, I need a new piece of paper. No, I need a big piece. Where are my big pieces?
I don't know.
Okay, I guess I'll just use the back of this
I
one.
got
That's fine.
you.
That's okay. It's okay. Chill out. All right, so we're going to go back over these basic shapes again because all these things still apply every time. Don't put that on there because it's going to wreck that piece of paper.
What's cold?
That doesn't matter. You don't use paper to warm your bottom. Paper does not warm your bottom. Okay. Jeez, you're look at you. You're crazy today. Okay. She's a nut today. This is what I have to deal with every day. This nut. All right.
Hey.
So, we're going to go over our basic shapes. And can you remind us what our basic shapes are, Luna?
A cone.
A cone.
A cylinder.
A cylinder.
And a cube.
A cube.
And then
what's it called?
Sphere.
Sphere. And what's the difference between these and, say, a square and a circle?
They are 3D.
They're 3D. And how do we show that they're 3D?
We add lines to make it look 3D, like half of ellipse.
Right.
Dotted lines.
It's like a curve instead of a straight line.
And yeah,
You
like
go around.
dotted lines.
Right. Well, the dotted lines, or when we draw over it, we make the rendering look like it's three-dimensional.
Yeah.
Right? So
All
here,
right, I
step
give it
up
that.
so that we can get you a nice warm chair. So your
Thank
rear end
you.
isn't too cold. Yes, a blanket for your rear end.
Thank you.
Our stool is metal, so it's a little cold. So, let's get started. So today, we're going to do a goblin. Because that was the one that most people kind of seemed to ask for, and the one that I was kind of like, oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. So we're going to start out with our trusty pencil, and I couldn't find my big pencil, so I'm switching to a different one. Hopefully you'll be able to see this one too. This is an aquarelle pencil, which is going to be interesting because technically the aquarelle pencils are watercolor pencils, but I'm probably not going to use the watercolor part of it today. But it is also a 6B, like the one I normally use. And it has a little bit of a sharper point. So, what we're going to do today is, goblins are like bad fairies, right? They're like evil fairies. And there's different names for them. There's like Bogarts, and there's, oh, there we go. There's my jumbo pencil. There's Bogarts, and there's, what else do they call? There's Bogarts, there's, oh, I can't remember the name of the other evil goblin-y things. There's goblins. Well, anyway, there's lots of different kinds of goblins from myths, and a lot of them, goblins come from, generally from Northern European myths, like from the Norse myths, like from Norway, and from Sweden and Iceland, but then they also come from Celtic myths from like England, and myths from Wales and Scotland. So, and I think also from Britain, but not as much. But they're also connected somehow to fairies. I think they're a type of fairy, depending on what your belief system is. But yeah, I mean, they are a creature from the other side, and frequently goblins are small. And I've seen them bigger, but I've also seen them smaller. I like them small because I think they're too scary if they're too big. And they frequently get into your stuff and make a mess. So, what we're going to do today is we're going to create a what? We're going to create a goblin that is kind of a mean but small goblin that's looking to make a mess. I think you're going to be my model for the goblin. You're making that face.
Hey!
All right. So, shh, lower your voice. You're screaming. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do, same thing we do every time. So remember we talked about how we want to draw around circles and round things and like that?
Yeah.
So the first thing we're going to start with, just like we started with the unicorn and we started with the dragon, we started with the head, right? And we drew, very lightly, what are you doing, kiddo? Okay.
You said
we
that.
drew a light circle for the head. Okay. Now remember, we want to make sure that we turn that circle into a sphere by doing our crosshairs, or our dotted line crosshairs through here. Okay.
It's a little hard to see. It's
Okay, well I'm
too
keeping
light.
it pretty light, so let's move this in, and you tell me when you can see it. All right? How's that?
Hold on. Let me.
Okay.
Be
Can
the
you
one
see
in
that,
charge.
guys?
Not really. Hold on.
It's too light. I mean, I can get darker, but
Yeah, I think you should get a little darker.
it's not really good to get too much darker because at this point.
I can see it.
Right, but the people on the screen are having a hard time.
Whoa, yeah,
seeing
you
it.
really can't see that, can you, at all? All right, I'll try and get darker. Here we go. We're going to go like this.
So maybe you will ink today.
No, I'll just erase. And we're going to do a cross like that. I hope that's better. Sorry about that. It's hard to tell what you guys can see and what you can't.
Yeah.
So someone just dinged us, so tell me, maybe they know.
I'll get it.
No, but they may have said we can see it now. So we've got our head circle. You guys see that? Can they see it?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I need an answer. And then we're going to draw another circle underneath it because my goblin's not going to have much of a neck. So I'm going to draw another circle right here. And that circle's going to be, or that orb, is going to be his chest area here. Okay? And then we're going to do another one. So that's his chest. Just like we did with the horse yesterday, we had the chest and then we had the hips. So we're going to do another one that's going to be his hips. And see, I've kind of drawn this line. I'm making it kind of moving, arching back like this so that it looks like he's kind of curled over. So when we get to his legs, we want his legs to come forward. So we're going to have one leg come like this. And I'm just going to draw some quick lines in. And another leg come like this. And I'm going to make cones like I've done in the past. Yep. I'm gonna make,
See.
all right, well, you're going to have to wait. We're going to make cones like we did in the past. And this time, these cones, we're going to see how they go at different angles away from that center area there. Okay? So we've got big circle, medium circle, smaller circle, a cone, and a cone coming out. All right? And then, because I'm imagining he's hunched over, his knees are the furthest thing, so we're going to have cones going backward away from us, like that. This is where it gets a little harder. We're going to have these cones go back away, like that. Okay? And then I'm going to draw wooden blocks. So this is where squares come in. So we're going to draw wooden blocks coming out like this. Okay, and you tell me if I'm going too fast. I'll try and keep honest here. We'll do another wooden block coming out like this. Yeah, I know. He's not going to have wooden block feet in the end, but for now, the wooden blocks are going to help us draw those feet. Okay? It's everyone in the family in the room. And then we got to figure out up here, get that other wooden block foot in. Luna? Okay. So what you want to do is you want to show the top of the block and then the front and the sides. Kind of similar to drawing a cube. But, okay, so that's going to be the side of the foot. I'm drawing the top and the side. Okay, see the difference? You can do it, but that way you're going to see the side of his foot there, right? What I'm trying to do is get a three-dimensional feel where our tube is going away from us like that. And then the feet come out like this. Okay? Does that make sense?
I made a mistake.
It's okay. We're
We
learning.
all learn from our mistakes.
That's right. We don't learn unless we make mistakes, and we don't learn from we never really learn from our successes, or very seldom. So now we're gonna decide where, since this is the chest, we're gonna decide where the arms go. Okay. So I'm gonna do that just like I did the cross section here. I'm gonna do another cross section here to show us where the center of that orb is. You want a little time?
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, get the other foot in. You're good. Got it. Now get the other one in. So now I want his forearm to come toward us. This is the first arm here to come toward us. So if I put his shoulder back here, it would be away from us. So I'm going to put it in front, as if he's tilting his arm down. And I'm going to put the back arm back here. So that's his shoulder. Yeah, right there. That's good. Or you can move it like a little bit over. Okay.
Make it a little bit bigger.
And then I'm going to draw, just like we did with the horse yesterday, I'm going to draw down from that to the elbow. Okay.
Make a angle.
And we can make an angled tube like that. See? And then we're going to make another tube that comes up like that. So see how it's coming toward us, right? And then we're going to make a big.
Wait.
What? You ready?
I messed up on the foot.
Okay. Take your time. Here's where it's getting a little tricky, okay? We're going to make another circle like that. Okay? That's the front. That's going to be the front hand. It's going to be right there. Okay? You tell me how you're doing. You doing okay?
I am falling behind.
Okay, well, just get that foot in. You're almost there. Look at that. You're almost there.
I know I'm almost there.
You know
Okay.
what?
What?
Keeping an eye on how Luna's doing is probably a good way
Yep,
of tracking how
that's
everybody
why
else
I'm
is doing too.
That's why I'm slowing down. Thanks, Mila. So when you tell me, okay, you're good. You're good. Now just get the circle in for the hand.
You know, I'm going to ask people out there, because some have joined that weren't here the first class. Do we want a little bit of a refresher of the sphere and how the ants move across the sphere?
We could do that. So when I draw, in order to make something from a circle to a sphere,
Here,
I like-
right on the other side of the goblin.
Okay.
There you go.
when I want something to be a circle, not a sphere, what I do is I pretend like there are ants crawling across it, and they're going from behind around to the front. And if I can do that, so the difference is this looks flat. Moving your lines around makes it look three-dimensional. Okay? So that's why I do this with the goblin's face right now. On the goblin's head. So now, are we ready to go, Luna?
You ready?
Okay, cool. So now, I'm going to draw a line going out like this. And coming back here.
Wait,
What? It goes out like this, comes across. We'll get to that later. That's going to be his weapon. Let's see what that is. Later.
Of course I know, because
I know you know because you saw it. And then we're going to draw another circle here behind that hand. And that's going to be the backhand eventually. Now, let's get onto the head. So, first off, if this is going to be the center of the face right here, right where the center of the nose is going to be. So, for the nose, I'm going to draw a big triangle
this center.
coming right off there, a cone actually.
I have my face this center.
Okay? Well, I made a big nose. You made a little tiny nose. Big nose. Because these are goblins. They have big noses,
True.
right?
Yeah.
Big noses. So then, once you get that big nose in there, you tell me when you're ready. Good. Okay. Now, then we're going to do, on the side of the head, we're going to draw another
I have
cone.
my the thing out miscentered.
Wait, there's no nose behind him.
What? That's not his nose. You'll see.
Wait.
Okay. I'm waiting. The idea is that the nose should look like it's pointing toward us.
I think.
Yours is pointing down here, so try coming at us here like this. Okay?
Gosh, I can't use the rubber ting.
You can't use the rubber ting. Oh, your table fell. No. You have to just pull it back up and fix the. thing. Well, yeah, but you're crushing my artwork. No, stop. Look,
Let me come over
you're
here
actually
and help.
crushing my original artwork that's behind there.
Okay,
That's
let
okay.
me help.
You still want it to get destroyed?
Oh wait, do we want to?
What? Yes, this is the original artwork that was getting crushed.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, that's not good.
Well, she's kind of goblin-y too.
Yes, she is very goblin.
She is the mother of goblins.
Yes, she's the mother of goblins.
Oh well, here, you know what?
That was the
Let's do
idea.
this. While we're waiting for everyone to catch up with the drawing, I'm gonna do this.
Hold the mother of goblins up.
Yeah. So that's Steve's mother
Yes.
of goblins.
All the goblins pop out of her back. They're kind of gross. It makes Luna cringe.
What? It does.
Okay. So now you can make these triangles as big as you want, because these are going to be his ears. And I like to make goblin ears really big. So I'm going to put one on both sides.
Of course
Okay.
you do.
So how do you know that you put them in the right place?
Well, okay. That's a good question. So if the nose is at the front of the face, right? The ears are going to be on the side of the head. So when I draw them, I want them to look like, basically, this is the front of the face here. You gotta.
I'll help her out.
Yeah, you gotta help her out there.
Mom,
We're having technical difficulties here. But so basically, if you imagine the sphere has sides to it, and this is the front, and this is the side of the sphere, we want them to kind of come out of the side. Does that make sense?
So basically, you've made ants going around.
Yep,
You did
we
on that
made our
tree,
ants going around
from the
here.
top of the nose, kind of.
And so if I follow this line around, it's going to be right around where I want to put the top of the ear, here. And similarly here, if I go around, it's going to be right around where the bottom of that ear is. I'm making the ears a little extra big. And similarly, if I go around this way, it's going to go right to the top of the ear and the bottom of the ear there. Okay? So now, we've got 2 ears, we got a nose, we got eyes, we need eyes. So we all know that we each have an eye on both sides of our nose, right? So we'll put one eye there and one eye there. Now, how do we know where to place those? Well, this is the center of the ball, okay? And we're going to put the eyes on either side of the ball. And we're going to try and make it look like both of those eyes are on the same distance from that center line, okay? But not exactly the same, because if it's further away from you, they're going to be a little closer together than if they're closer to you. Okay, so we're going to draw.
Explain that one more time.
If something's moving away from you, like over here, this is going to be a little closer together than it will be on this side, because we see more distance as it comes closer to us. I'm going to draw another line up here. And then I'm going to come down, kind of straight down from where the eye on this side is, and I'm going to make a chin. Now what I'm going to do with the chin is I'm going to kind of make marks coming down like this from the center of the eyes down, and that's going to be the edge of my chin, and I'm going to follow that all the way up to the ear. Okay? You got it. And then I'm going to draw another line here. That's going to be his nose line. All right, now we're going to go continue his head up and make it pointy. That's not actually going to be his head when I'm done.
Mom's gonna be pointy.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have a pointy hat there. Yeah, I like that. I like that. And I'm going to put big curved triangle here and a big curved cone there. You can probably guess what those are, right? At this point, what do you think those are? You don't need those. I'm putting horns on his helmet. You don't need to put those horns on there, but I'm putting those on. So now we can start getting into decorating this guy. Yeah, kind of a Viking helmet. We can start getting into decorating this guy now. Have you guys got all that? Are we all good?
Michael Mrak says good explanation. So
Okay,
yes.
cool. All right. Thanks, Mike. So now I'm going to connect this back here just around so it no longer looks like 2 separate balls.
How is it decorating?
You'll see. And I'm going to draw a line between where those two balls were. I'm going to go around like this. I'm making a shape like this around it. Got it? That's going to be his belt eventually.
Dupe.
And then
I know how to make it overlap.
Yep. You want the arm to stay overlapped. Now I need my ting. Can I have my ting? Oh, you're gonna give me the squishy ting. Okay, so I'm using it's a different kind of an eraser. This is called a kneaded eraser, and you can play with it. Okay, because it gets all squishy. But that also means that you can get all the stuff erased in whatever shape you want.
So what's the point of a squishy eraser versus a solid eraser?
Well, you can get your squishy eraser into a little point like that, and just erase a little tiny bit.
If you use a little tiny bit and it falls under a table a little bit, but your fingers can't reach it through, you can use the rest of the squishy eraser to lasso it.
You could do that, yes. So I'm going to erase some of these extra scribble lines.
I need my ting.
You have your ting right there.
Oh, yeah.
But you kept my ting. That was supposed to be my ting. You were going to keep this one.
That was supposed to be my ting.
Sometimes these extra squishy erasers get kind of difficult to use on this paper.
Arg!
But what's good about these two is that, unlike a regular eraser,
he's going to get a pointy chin. Something to poke you with.
Yes. Unlike a regular eraser,
See?
it doesn't erase everything, so it leaves you... It's harder to erase things clean with this, so it leaves you ghosts of what you want. So if you don't want to erase it clean so you can remember what you drew before, you can just kind of lightly erase stuff a little bit, and then you get... You can remember what you had there.
That also means that when you're doing things like rendering and you just want to lighten an area, you can just use the eraser to gently lighten an area.
So now, I'm switching pencil, because I want to get something a little bit more detailed here.
So wait, tell them what you're doing with your pencil. You're switching to what?
I'm switching to, this is a 502 Palomino Blackwing pencil, but you could use your number 2 pencil now. And there you, you're already drawing the mouth. You're like ahead of me here. So, too loud. So now, let's go in and decorate this guy. And what I mean by decorate is I want to put in all the details. So, first off, I'm going to put a circle here, and I'm going to put a circle under his eyes on both sides.
Is that the cheeks?
Yeah, that's going to be the cheekbones. And then I'm going to put a circle on the side of his nose here. And remember that keystone that we talked about the other day.
Nostrils.
Here. That's going to be the nostril, you're right.
Oh, wait, hold on. Not everybody was on this the other day, so what's the keystone again?
It's just an upside down triangle shape that's between our eyes.
And who made up that idea?
I don't know who named it the keystone. It's just something that they've been calling it for a long time.
I didn't even know it was called a keystone.
Well, that's true. Probably because you didn't take a drawing class or read drawing books. So now, what I can start doing is like we do normally, we start connecting the dots.
Connect.
So we start connecting our lines together, like this. And we can start...
Are we going to be able to ink it?
Probably not. Because this one's going to be tough. You can ink it afterwards.
I'm going to do a lot of inking off camera, apparently.
You know what? Let's talk a little bit about the inking thing while we're doing these other things, because on the first day when you did a dragon, you inked it, and one of the remarks that we had from one of the viewers was that, you know, the pencil was fine, but the minute she started to put ink down, she really got to see the drawing come to life.
Right. Well, that's why I'm doing the erasing this time. The inking thing, the only reason why I don't want to do the inking right now is because this is a more detailed drawing than that one, and it's going to take us longer to get through it. So if I can get us through this part, we'll do it. Part of it is, if you erase well enough, you don't need to.
I want ink, though. I'm
So,
going to do an inking
okay,
off camera.
fine. So what I'm going to do now is, I had those orbs before, but now I'm going to stop those orbs at the top, right here.
Mickey, ho ho ho.
And now you can see those are his eyebrows. So he's gonna have a mean kind of smile on his face.
Arg.
And we're gonna draw the smile in. So this is his cheekbone here. And it's
I
really
got a
just
wicked smile on his
drawing around that circle and then drawing back down around the mouth.
The needed ting.
Yes, as long as I can have the regular ting.
Yes, you can have the regular
Thank you.
ting.
So you want to disconnect.
Exchange
So
it
see that?
of-
You don't want the nostril separated anymore. You can erase that line between the nostril
I did.
and the nose. And then that's how you get this nice, like, big kind of honkin' nose. And then we're going to
Hunkin' nose.
honkin' nose. He hunks. So we're going to make 2 lines for the mouth that kind of follow each other.
That mine
He has a honkin' nose. And basically I'm refining all my lines and I'm erasing the looser ones, and I'm going in and making the lines that I do much more tight or much more clean and sharp. And then I'm going to do things like put some boxes in here. So watch what happens here. This is going to be fun. Draw a box, and I'm going to draw another box, and I'm going to draw another box, and I'm going to let him go over the lines for the mouth. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw over and around them, because those are his ugly, nasty teeth. You can have them hanging out.
Mine is
Now I imagine that, yeah, you can have super sharp teeth, or you can have big, kind of clunky teeth like this guy has. He's got kind of, these guys do not brush their teeth, so they look like this.
If you guys
If you don't brush your teeth, this is what your teeth look like. So you better watch
If you guys
out.
want to see mine,
Yep.
when we're done.
He's got
with
here
it,
nice
post
sharp
it up.
teeth. So, okay. So now, inside our eyes, I'm going to do a half circle. And you can start seeing the expression of that guy coming through, right? And then under the eye, you can make it a little bit less than an orb, and you can draw the lower eyelid in here. Basically like a half moon shape.
Eyelid?
Lower eyelid.
Why?
So that you can make him look like he's got an eye. Because you've got to have the upper eyelid. Well, we don't really see the upper eyelid because his brow comes down. But we have his lower eyelid underneath.
Cheekbones are wow.
So now,
Oh.
yeah, is that you want to look? If you look closer, you're doing really well though. So now,
I'm not
yes, you are.
good at
You're
it
doing
than
just fine.
you are.
Well, I've been doing this for a long time.
Oh,
It
yeah.
takes this is the kind of thing. This takes years and 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 years of drawing every day to get to draw like me. So, if you don't draw like me, that's okay. So now we're gonna.
It's just sad.
Well, I
Draw.
bet you probably drew a lot like your students are drawing right now.
Oh yeah.
Back then.
Oh yeah, totally. It just takes years and years of practice. So now I'm going to do this half circle, little line going out to that tip of that triangle, and then I'm going to bring the other part down and around it, so it feels like I've got a big floppy ear.
Flappy.
And I'm going to do the same thing over here, where I bring this up like this, and come back to that point, and then I'm going to bring it right up to the bottom of that ear. And then I'm going to draw another half circle under that. And I can color that in a little bit to give it some depth. Now, one of the things about lines is, so like right now I have this thick line here and this thinner line here. But if you want to make something look like it's under something else or in the shadow, just thicken that line a little bit. So watch what happens when I thicken this line. And then I thin out this line. What starts to happen is it creates the illusion that this is heavier and this has weight to it. And I can do the same thing over here. Thicken this line under here so that we show that his that his chin is a nice big deep thing. Okay, and that's why we do these thicker lines in here and in here. So anytime you want to make something look like it's heavy or it has weight to it, like right here, you can put a thick line underneath it, or you can start doing rendering lines like that.
Or shadowing.
Right, well I call them rendering lines because it's not necessarily a shadow, it's just drawing around these forms to make them feel three-dimensional. Remember those ants we were talking about before? I'm just basically creating ants there. Now up here, we go back to this line, Now this line was our helmet line. And I'm going to have it stick out because it's on the outside of his head. So I'm going to have it stick out here.
Mine is extra pointy.
Yes, it is. So it has to stick out beyond the edge of his head. Maybe overlap his ear a little bit there.
I'm going to see if I can draw a robe on this guy.
Okay. And then we're going to draw
A goblin wizard.
those cone horns. And remember, this one, the helmet is in front of, so we have that kind of a, we have one object in front of another, we do that. If an object is behind another, we do that. So this one's behind, that one's in front, this one's in front, that one's behind. So this horn is going to be on the front side. Go ahead. This one's going to be on the front side. So we're going to overlap it. And we're going to erase these marks. So it feels like it's on the front side. Okay, and then we can draw. How come I can hear Jacob's TV down up here?
Because Luna just left the room and opened the door. And
No, I could hear it before she left. So now we have a goblin head. Now we're going to have to get to the goblin body. So down here, I'm going to draw one little line under there. And that's going to be his neck. And I'm imagining his shoulders are pretty up right near his neck. So we're going to draw that. We're just going to leave it like that. Then I'm going to draw a line around to that circle that we drew for the shoulder. And this right here is what's called the clavicle. If you remember, we had that ghost line there, these ants that were splitting it down the middle just like the head. We're going to join the clavicle right there. You can have it. And right there.
Okay, so we have a Penelope says, how do you do this? With 4 exclamation points and 4 question marks.
Okay.
So people are following along, but I think people are kind of amazed because I bet you they're looking at theirs and it's like, it looks a little clunkier than Steve's.
Well, how do I do it? I guess, I don't know. How do I do it? I just keep doing it and doing it and doing it. But, you know, if you follow along with what I'm doing, hopefully you'll be able to see everything. Part of it is, one of the things I'm not showing you, which I normally do, is I normally measure everything as I'm going. So, or not measure, but I check the proportions. And what that means is, I'll explain that. I'll explain what that means. By checking the proportions, I go, well, does this look bigger than that? Or does it look smaller? Okay, so this is bigger than this. So that way I know that this needs to be bigger than the nose and almost as big as this ear. So if something's closer, it's going to be a little bit bigger. So this ear should look bigger than that ear. This horn should look bigger than that horn. And this arm is going to look bigger than that arm. In fact, we're not even going to really see that arm because it's on the other side of his body. Okay? So now, are you ready? You ready? Yeah. Okay. So now we're going to follow that circle there that we did earlier. And we're going to bring this circle here like we did earlier. We're just going to redraw those circle lines. And then we're going to go in here. I'm just going to redraw that mark. And I'm going to redraw that mark. You doing okay? Just redrawing these. Just redrawing those. Just the same marks. We're just getting rid of those skeleton marks that we drew before. I call these the skeleton. So we're going to get rid of those skeleton marks and just kind of draw the lines we want to keep. So we erase the lines we don't want and we draw the lines we do want. And notice I'm doing a lot of lines where I draw like this and like that. And that gives us that sense of 3 dimension. One thing under another thing. So if everything you draw is one thing here and another thing under that goes underneath it, you'll have a drawing that kind of looks real. And the more you do this, the more you'll start to get 3 dimensions out of your drawing. Here it is. Okay. I gave it to you. Oh. So when I do stuff like this, I'm drawing under, and I'm drawing over, and I'm drawing under, and I'm drawing over, and then down here I'm going to have the elbow. Okay. And then I'm going to draw the arm. And notice no straight lines, all curved lines.
Loof. Okay.
And then I'm going to draw straight because the top of the forearm is straight, except where it gets right up here and it squishes in. There's a little thing called squash and stretch that we do in animation and in cartooning, where when an object is squishing on one side, it straightens up on the other. So I draw these things called beans. So if it squishes on this side, squishes here, yep, it straightens out over here. So if it squishes here, this whole thing is going to straighten out. So it's going to be a nice sharp angle as opposed to the squishy part here. And you'll see that a lot in my drawings where something squishes. So it's going to squish under here between the legs, right? Between the knees. But then over here, it's going to be nice and straight. Okay? And then I'm going to draw one line that's way outside his leg here. I'm going to do that on both of these. And that's going to be his pants.
What?
See? Just drew a line out here. And all I did was connect it to the line that was the outside of the line of the leg. Basically, you just bring it out. And you can do all kinds of stuff with that to make it...
His pants are too big, so he's rolling them up.
Right. He's rolling them up, or in this case, I think they're too short. And so they just kind of stick out on mine. But you can have him roll them up.
I think we're all very glad that your goblin is actually wearing pants.
Yes, he needs pants. And he's got a big belt right around here. So in order to make that belt look like it's three-dimensional, you draw one curve, draw another curve. They both are the same, approximately the same curve. We connect them. And then we go around here like that.
What's missing?
You're doing great. Keep going. You can make the belt look 3D. You can erase that nostril thing. Erase that nostril circle, and then it'll feel more like your nose. Because right now it looks like he has a circle on his nose. So if you kept that circle there, it looks like he has a circle on his nose. If you get rid of it, and you just connect it, connect the dots, you make it look like it. That's okay. All right, so now we've got pants. So let's get to the hand. The hand's going to be hard, okay?
I draw hands.
So now hands...
I draw mini hands all the time.
Hands, normally what I do is I do a square, and then I draw the fingers coming off the square like this. And he's going to have 3 fingers, kind of like Mickey Mouse, and a thumb. So I draw them like that.
4 fingers.
And I always try to put 3 fingers and a thumb. I want to make sure he has knuckles, just like I do, knuckles. And then he's going to have these joints here, which are also knuckles. You have these little knuckles up here. And then big, ugly fingernails like that. And you do the same thing over here. You've got this one, this knuckle there. And you've got this knuckle, this knuckle here. And you've got your big thumb knuckle there. And then big, ugly thumbnail. So in order to do it here, it's going to be a little harder because we have to make it feel like the hand is going around.
Dad, look.
Yeah. Oh, that's nice. You have to make it feel like the hand's going around. So you changed it, but that's okay. So what we're going to do here to make it feel that way is we're going to draw...
You know what? I'm sorry. We didn't see all of that hand. So...
Oh, you didn't see that hand? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, let me angle this down a little bit better.
So it was a square. Oh, okay. So we did a square, and then we did circles for the knuckles, 3 of them. Boop, boop, boop. We made a circle here, and then we went up to we made new circles there. Actually, I might as well redraw it. So it's a square, and then 3 knuckles. 1,
It was a rounded square.
2, 3. Yeah, rounded square. And then another one down here, so the 4th, that's this area here. And then fingers all fan out. So We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and they angle out like that. And then the thumb's going to come out like this. So I always draw like little loose, sketchy lines.
So is that the center line of each of those fingers?
Yep, that's the center line of each finger.
He has a
Thank you.
magic bow and arrow.
And then I'm going to draw knuckles at that point. So you go up a little bit. They all have to be about the same length away from the first knuckle.
Like you did an arc.
Yep, I did an arc because there's always a curve on the fingers.
You should see
And
my
then-
third grade's teacher's thumb.
We're going to go like this, and then we're going to get that top knuckle up there. Okay. And on the thumb, we have a knuckle there, and we have this big knuckle here. And then we're going to connect the dots.
Blue.
And notice I'm going around the knuckles and then going in and then going back around the knuckles. It's like, ooh, like a roller coaster. Okay. Magic bow and arrows. And on this side, same thing. And then up here, we throw in
We need the
our
shoes.
fingernails. Now from this angle, it's going to be a little different because we're going to be looking at the fingers coming at us. So that's a lot harder. So I'm going to draw a half circle right here where the finger meets this. Where the hand meets that. Okay? And so the thumb...
Here, I'm going to zoom into this. Piece,
Okay,
'cause I think
yeah, this is
people
going to be really hard.
really
So,
need a little extra on this.
yeah, so you're going to have this half circle that matches up with this half circle here. And then I'm going to draw a half circle in reverse there. And I'm going to draw a half circle like that. And then I'm going to draw a half circle under here. And then I'm going to draw a little one. It's kind of half, not as big. And then a smaller one here. And I'm going to connect that up. Okay? If you just trust me,
I made a
you'll get
star.
the thumb knuckle here. And then this thumb knuckle here. And then that one there. And then you get your first finger knuckle. Yeah, this is the hard stuff, guys. And then we bend it.
Bend it.
So we go this way to that first knuckle and then in. And then we have the hand.
Wow.
Okay? So now the other hand is going to be here. And really all we're going to see of this other hand is his thumb.
I'm gonna draw a shirt on my guy.
Yeah, you can do that. We're just going to see that part of his thumb right there. And then we can draw his pole out from there.
You get your dirt.
And we're going to continue that through his body. Out the back. Can we move back a little bit again?
Yep, I will move
Okay.
this back.
All right. So now here we've got the goblin's head, his hands. Now we got to get those big feet. I think I'm going to make the feet a little easier on us by making them shoes. Because if I made them feet, we'd have to deal with toes.
I'm gonna give him.
So,
I'm gonna give him clown shoes.
okay.
They're gonna be-
That sounds
You
good.
can have giant feet.
So, yeah, the goblins always have giant
shoes.
feet. So what we're going to do, is we have these squares.
We need our tings.
We're going to round the squares up. And
I
draw
don't
around
need
those
that
squares.
guy. I don't need that ting. I have my own ting.
Well, you said you needed it, so I was handing it to
For
you.
this thing.
Shh. Be quiet. You're being loud.
No. I'm not actually
So we're going to curve around. You're talking over me. So we're going to curve this around. Make a ball. I'm going to do the same on this end. Can you do that, Luna?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're going to do another one back here. But not quite a ball. Yeah, I guess a ball will work. Do another one back here. And then between that ball and this ball, we're going to draw up to his leg. And then on here, we're going to draw in and around the heel.
In and around.
So here we're going to, and on this side, because they're the same, they're the same on the insides. is going to go in and around to the ball. And this one's going to go in and around to the ball. And then I'm going to draw a second line that goes like that. And a second line over here. Can they see this?
Yep.
It goes like so.
But I am going to bring it a little further down.
Okay.
So now it's all about the feet now.
And now we have, with a few little lines, we have his shoes. And then we can get rid of those boxes that we started with. And you should have big, clunky shoes, or at least the beginning of big, clunky shoes. And now you can finish his leg. Now, shoes all have tongues, so don't forget the tongues. And then, yep, shoes have tongues. And then they have,
I know that.
so you make a kind of a rounded square. And you draw around like this. And you just connect those dotted lines. So you draw that square.
He has big clunky shoes.
You draw around the ankle.
Heel. I don't know what I'm doing.
And you connect it up. Okay, how's that looking, guys?
I think it looks pretty good.
How are you guys doing? Everyone doing okay?
The world up there seems to be pretty happy.
Okay.
I keep getting little like bubble hearts and bubble
Cool.
likes
All right.
and stuff like that coming up. A
Great.
few wows coming up.
All right. So let's move this back a little bit so I can see a little more.
All right.
And now we have this area here. So because we have this arc there, we're gonna.
I gotta undo this so the camera will angle better.
Okay.
Not too much.
Sorry. There we
Too
go.
much angle. There we go.
Okay. Cool. All right. Sorry about that. So remember this arc we have there, that little half moon. We're gonna go and we're gonna make that same half moon on the other end of his stick here, and then we're gonna make that same half moon here, but it's gonna be bigger because it's supposed to be closer. And we're gonna make this tube go wide at this point, and then it's gonna get thinner until it gets thinner back here. Okay. And then we're gonna draw
Why is this dropping?
an ellipse.
I don't know what happened. What dropped? Did I drop something?
We're going to have an ellipse. And then we're going to draw a cone from that ellipse out here. And then I want to draw, he's going to be holding something in his hands that I think is fun. So he's going to have another line there. And we're going to continue that line back here. And then I'm going to create another half circle and another half circle there.
Can anybody guess what it is?
And then I'll do a couple more and a couple more. And then I'm going to draw another line here. I'm going to draw another line
Can anybody guess what it is?
here.
I don't know. Can anyone guess? Well, somehow you've made it so it's not quite a circle anymore.
What do you mean?
Like you've changed the shape of it by putting those lines in. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's not quite a circle anymore. But it should start to look familiar once you get to this point. And then you can erase that ellipse on the other side. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to draw some jagged lines here. I'm going to go and I'm going to fill this in.
You know, it's pretty plain to see.
Okay. Hey, what's he carrying?
It's pretty plain to see.
He's carrying a pencil. Okay, so he's an evil pencil gnome. I mean, dwarf. Goblin.
No!
So now, okay, we got to decorate this guy a little bit more. Okay, so little things you can do to...
Tiana and Penelope guessed right.
Oh, good. Okay, great. Props to you. So now we got to decorate him a little bit more. I think we're going to put, like, let's see. I think he doesn't have a good tailor. So he's going to have patches on his clothes. So I'll make some squares.
Maybe he did it to, maybe he
On his
tailored
clothes?
own
But make sure that the squares look like they follow.
Maybe he tailored his own clothes.
Maybe he tailors his own clothes. You're right.
And he's not a good tailor.
He's not a good tailor. That could be. So I'm going to put patches, because I just imagine gnomes have patches all over their clothes.
No!
I'm sorry, goblins. And so you want to put the bad stitching, because he doesn't know how to sew. So you put that around here.
And guys, it's time.
Is it really?
It's 2:49.
Okay. Well, so now I'll give you a couple last minute things before we go. If you want to make this look like it's metal, give it another line, a thicker, heavier black line there, and then another one there, and then it'll look shiny. And then if you want to make this look like it's bone or horn material, I forget what horns are made out of, horns, you can put little marks like that to make it look like it's made of horn material. You can do the same over here, kind of create a texture on it, and you can do the same to the pants. Just give them a little bit of texture. And there you have the goblin of the day. And oh wait, don't forget, always.
We need the canvas, so we'll be stabbing a canvas.
You gotta draw. Well, you're gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that.
Actually, I'm not gonna do that because.
Okay. You're gonna draw your frame around the piece. And the frame really sells it. Okay, so we'll get rid of these extra little drawings that I did on the side. And we'll do the frame. Go around. And then, oh, most important part, sign it. All right. If you want, you can
The
put
Goblin Gladiator.
pupils in his eyes too. I like putting pupils in. So there you go, everyone. I hope you had a lot of fun. I hope that was not too fast and too hard, but I tried to make it simple. I hope you had a good time, and I'll see you here tomorrow. And at 4, we're going to be doing another one.
3, right?
Oh, 3, sorry, right. 15
In
minutes or
10
so.
minutes.
10 minutes. We're going to be doing another goblin, but this goblin's going to be a little bit more serious. A little more, well, he's going to be a little more detailed, okay?
And you can ask people to post their pictures.
That's right. And please post your pictures. I want to see them all. And if you don't mind, write on your thing if you don't mind me posting it up and putting your name on it on a Facebook page. I might make a Facebook Monster Art School Facebook page, and we can put all the pictures up there. Okay? So I'll see you all later, and see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye-bye. I gotta get some
Next
food.
session. Yeah.
Don't forget to stop the recording on the other side too.